right, what is up, everybody? It is a little past 7, but we promised you STL 316 tonight. It's going to be myself, and it's going to be the return of a STL 316 legend. You know who I'm talking about. We're going to bring him on in just a second. WrestleMania week is here. The weekend is just upon us. You've got the WWE Hall of Fame coming up. You've got night one on Saturday, night two on Sunday. We're breaking it all down for you. Me personally, I'm hosting this because the guy that knows everything and anything about wrestling and WrestleMania is, of course, the Doctor of Style Sith. And, you know, I'm not going to waste anybody's time. Why? Because a certain someone whispered something to me, and I was able to get the video of it, and I can't ever go against what she said.
Because I want to walk with Elias.
And of course, we are going to walk with Elias here as we bring on the Doctor of Style Sith. What is up, man? How are you doing? I hear you're at the beach right now.
Yeah, man, I'm doing great. I'm out here finally vacation, getting ready for WrestleMania. I told my wife, we'll get the festivity, we'll continue the festivities, but my Super Bowl has come. WrestleMania weekend, the best weekend for all wrestling fans, Brody. So thanks for having me. That's Rudy Campos, the fortune teller. I patented that name because he won't. If he says something, you bookmark it, bro, because it's 10 out of 10 times it's gonna come true. So you got the Doctor of Style and the fortune teller
Yeah,
in y'all's audience.
I was thinking, man, I could go back to my radio days when we had my introduction on radio. I had to end up using Shawn Michaels' "Heartbreak Kid" song back on the radio, but it was the what was it? The Rated R Sports Star. I was called the Brown Bag Special. I mean, there was a lot of stuff like that. So I can come up with a lot of wrestling gimmicks as there, but nothing is better than the Doctor of Style Sith, man. WrestleMania is upon us, man. And we've got everything from Hall of Fame to some great matchups. The overall aura of WrestleMania 41. Give everybody that aura, that feeling going into this weekend with everything going on before we break it down. Give everybody a little bit of how Sith is feeling going into WrestleMania.
Man, so us wrestling fans are ecstatic. WWE is all about long-term storytelling, right? You have Roman Reigns, Rollins, and CM Punk their story finally comes to a conclusion tomorrow night, I believe. You have the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena, going to break Ric Flair's record. That's not a question. That's a promise. I'm telling y'all, Cody Rhodes, Cody Crybabies, y'all get ready for that. Man, WrestleMania is at its peak, especially with all these crossovers coming out. I see my boy Jacob Eric from Grading the Market is in the chat.
Oh yeah.
We even have top cards, collaborating with the Cactus Jack collection. We have Travis Scott dropping merch. Man, wrestling is at its peak, especially with all these collaborations going on. You could catch superstars in, every popular night talk show. The Pat McAfee show is at its peak too. He's on WWE Raw, if y'all didn't know. Let's see. We got video games coming out. Just like I showed you earlier, Fortnite has the Cody Rhodes and Undertaker skin. So if you weren't a wrestling fan before, this is the weekend to become a wrestling fan. And don't worry, if you don't know about the stories coming on, that's why your boy is on the show. That's why we brought it back. I told Rudy if we have to hype up WrestleMania, because a lot of people ask me, so who's this, who's that, why are they fighting, who's beefing, are they cousins, brothers, lovers? I don't know, but I'll break it all down for you.
That's why he's back, man. The Doctor of Style Sith. You can follow him on X at Sith the Hill. Follow me on X at Sweep the League. You know what? Let's start building this WrestleMania preview. And the best way to do it is by, of course, our sponsors, MCS General Contracting. Leha and the boys out there doing it right the first time, every time. They are building a better San Antonio one project at a time. And guess what? They are helping us build this WrestleMania preview. Let's not waste any time, man. We're going straight into night one of WrestleMania. You see the card right there in front of you, man.
Man, if you're a
already a
wrestling fan, you get chills. You get chills looking at that card.
already looking at, a card that is already going to just launch a fantastic weekend. Let's start with one match here. You've got El Grande Americano, Rey Mysterio, a singles match. I'm just going to say, this is kind of one of those matches I'm going to be watching, but I'm going to watch for a small little side note. Could we potentially see some guy named Phoenix kind of intervene somewhere in here? Give us the preview and the breakdown of El Grande Americano and Rey Mysterio.
Okay, so El Grande Americano is actually a hitman, you can say, hired by Chad Gable.
Yeah.
He was sent off on a mission by Dominic Mysterio. He said, "Hey, these luchadores keep whooping on me." He's like, "I need some help." He's like, "I know you hate your dad, and you grew up in that industry, so could you send me in the right direction?" Well, he ended up somewhere in Mexico and came across the GOAT, which is known as El Grande Americano.
Mhm.
And his paths finally cross with Rey Mysterio, and it's time for them to they're gonna take it to the limits, and we're gonna see some high flying action and whatnot. It's just a shame that Chad Gable is gonna be missing out WrestleMania. A lot of people speculate that El Grande Americano is Chad Gable, but
I've seen
that
that. I've seen that.
that remains to be seen. Although they have the same height, same physique, same skill set, and tattoo, what does that even mean nowadays, Rudy? And of course, Rey Mysterio Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Famer, um, bad dad. He'll never live up to this guy. If y'all could see, I'm rocking Eddie Guerrero, the real luchador of WWE. But shout out Rey Mysterio. All jokes aside, this is gonna be a great match. I hope he puts over El Grande Americano, or we see an unmasking and our boy Chad Gable gets the spotlight at WrestleMania.
Man, there you go. That's our first breakdown of Grande Americano, Rey Mysterio. Who do you have winning in this matchup right here?
Now I'm going for El Grande Americano, but Rey Mysterio is gonna unmask him out of pure pettiness.
There you go, man. Probably because he got unmasked back in WCW against Kevin Nash. For all you old timers out there that remember that, that's gonna be a good match. If that's the one that's starting us out, that's gonna be a good match. Let's go down to
I
the tag team. Go ahead. You got something?
Yeah, I think I saw today they're actually going to start off with a World Heavyweight Championship match, which has a lot of people upset. If you want to introduce that match, and we'll break it down.
Who?
Jey
If they
Uso
want
and
to,
Gunther.
you really think they want to start with that match? That is a massive matchup right there, man.
A
Massive
lot.
match. You know what? Let me do this. Let me save that one because I've got a crazy twist
Alrighty.
on that match that I want to ask you about. Let's go to the tag team match here. The War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, against the New Day, Kofi and Xavier Woods. It's a tag team match for the World Tag Team Championships here. Honestly, on the tag team part, I haven't really followed much of the War Raiders. Give me the breakdown on War Raiders and New Day.
Man, so the War Raiders, once Viking Raiders, right? They're
Yeah.
pretty good. Ivar, the big dude, the bigger man, he's pretty agile. I like their reign personally. A lot of my friends say they're just a big snooze fest, that gimmick doesn't work. And on the other end, you have the heel New Day, which this would be their first time winning the titles as a heel, and I'm
Mhm.
all for it. I think they're well deserved. What I would like to see happen is them lose, not get the titles because of interfering Big E. They
Ooh.
publicly shunned Big E a few months back on WWE Raw.
Yeah.
Everyone was excited. They're like, "Oh, Big E's gonna bring them together," and they decided to give him the boot. So if Big E could come out and cost him the title, it'd be perfection. It'd be the ultimate fu to the New Day by the babyface Big E. I know I really dig the heel New Day. In my opinion, they that cartoonish act just wasn't working for me. They had some killer gear when they came out of Mania in the deep, dressed as Dragon Ball Z or Ninja Turtles, but it just wasn't hitting anymore. They were getting left in the spotlight. WWE's tag team division is unlike any other. So yeah, my prediction: New Day loses, even though I wouldn't want them to, because of interference of Big E. Viking Raiders, like I said, there's not much to say about them. They just gave them the titles to make them feel good.
My twist on this could be, we're talking about Big E, and of course, you see how the New Day has shunned Big E lately. You're saying he could come out, cost them title. What if it's the flip side? what if they're throwing us for a loop and
He
they're
comes back and
shunning
helps him.
Big E and he comes back and helps them win that tag team championship? I mean, again, we are talking WrestleMania. Crazy stuff happens all the time.
Oh, you crazy like Johnny Knoxville trapping Sami Zayn in a huge mousetrap. Save the
Oh man,
mousetraps, but I just want to see a Big E return, whether it's for the good or bad of New Day. I want to see them three celebrating their, even if it's back in Gorilla. I just want to
yeah.
see Big E in the spotlight again. Shout out his career. I wish he never got that neck injury. I was a fan of his world heavyweight reign as well, until we met the likes of Brock Lesnar, who seems to come in and whoop on everyone who's champ.
There's just some times where you've got Brock Lesnar coming in, whoop up. WCW had Goldberg coming in with 4 or 5 moves coming
Corny.
in. Yeah, it's just. I mean, I get the look, I get the dominance, but I mean, at some point, it's just kind of like, man, you got to stop doing something like that. A lot of these other guys are putting in their dues, and they deserve to get, their shots and their reigns for a little while longer. So, shout out to Big E. We'll see what happens in that matchup. Going right down again, you got Jade Cargill against Naomi. I think I've talked to a couple of people. They said this is one of those matches where it could be a very underrated match between these two women right here. What is the Doctor style scene again with Jade Cargill against Naomi?
Okay, so this is gonna be a other side of Naomi we've never seen at WrestleMania. We're used to this is the glow Naomi coming in up straight baby face, the whole crowd eating at the palm of her hands. But we got to see a different side of her. She attacked Jade Cargill out of pure jealousy because
Mhm.
she took the spotlight and she won the titles with Bianca instead of her, right? So
Yeah.
she went, put a hit on her, kind of left her out of the mix for a couple of months till Jade Cargill came back in Elimination Chamber. I would say this is one big test for Jade Cargill. It's gonna be her first singles match in WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken. But like you said, this is going to be a banger. They're both more than capable of carrying a good 15, 20-minute match in the ring, and especially with the story behind it.
Yeah.
They're both being fueled by rage. One's out for revenge because she got jumped. The other's out for revenge because she feels like she was carried by the company a lot sooner than she was. Naomi's well deserving of a Mania spotlight, and I think I'm going with her getting the win. Jade Cargill's been whooping on her ever since she's come back.
Exactly.
All love to Jade though. That is one beautiful woman. I'd love, I weather the storm when she comes out.
I will not disagree with you on that. I'm going to go Naomi as well. I mean, I think it's just that WrestleMania moment for her, and I think it's going to be Naomi for the win again. Nothing, no love lost for Jade Cargill at all. I mean, but I think Naomi comes up, and I'm gonna take the New Day, like I said, in the match previous there. So we got three matches already under our belt. You got Mister LA Knight against Jacob Fatu. We're talking United States Championship match right here now. Does it change hands? I mean, you're talking Jacob. Obviously, you've seen when he's done. He's been in the spotlight. A whole lot came into the scene just wrecking. I mean, just wrecking. But is this one of those cases where do you think LA Knight has already jumped up a tier? So it's time for him to move up? Or is he still just going to be the United States champion coming out of WrestleMania?
Well, being that LA Knight just got the title back from Shinsuke Nakamura about what 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
he's doing his role, building up this match. But I mean, WWE, if they're doing the right thing, you're gonna have him get squashed by Jacob Fatu. Give
Mhm.
Jacob that over the moon push, give him the title, and let the reign of the wild Samoan, the Samoan werewolf, come to fruition. LA Knight has done more than enough this past year. He's taking the L won't hurt his character. Like he said, he'd be on to bigger and better things. Hell,
Yeah.
he was teased the Money in the Bank win 2 years ago. So why not put him back in the mix? I think Jacob Fatu needs this one, especially for the stuff he's done against Braun Strowman. The
Yeah.
amount of carnage and his bounce back ability. you need to reward him. He's the best in the new bloodline. Hell, he might be the best from the old bloodline too. And you know how much of a Roman Reigns fan I am. So my prediction for this match, good 5 minute bout because that boy kicks out of everything. Samoan Werewolf gets the title, and the way you continue on to Backlash, um, Solo Sikoa is probably going to feel the need to have a title match since he brought Jacob into the mix. So you see where the story's going from there. You
I
have
see it.
Jacob win the title, and then Solo Sikoa is coming for the belt, and of course he doesn't dethrone him. But there's a story to be told there. I think it's time for LA Knight to go on a little vacation. He's overworked himself quite a bit. He's out here botching almost weekly now. So hand the title over, push Jacob, and solidify yourself as a WrestleMania talent, Mr. LA Knight. Yeah.
You're hearing it here from Dr. Style Sith. He's got Jacob Fatu taking that United States title away from LA Knight. LNA possibly going on a little vacation. Does need him, man. You are right. He's working his tail off. So definitely could use a vacation. Maybe have him come, to another pay-per-view. Obviously, we have those surprises that come out from time to time. Maybe around SummerSlam, give LA Knight, that little return, get him another little push right there. But with Jacob Fatu winning, for me, it feels like you're starting to put these titles on dominant guys, dominant big men. Obviously, we're going to get to Braun Breaker later, but has that same feel. Give it to Fatu because he's just going to carry that belt and make it just like that much better, in my opinion. So I'm with you. Jacob Fatu for the win. Kind of go on that little path against, who did you mention? Solo Sequoia a little while ago.
So Sikoa.
Yeah, Sequoia, that's going to build a fantastic storyline right there. 3 more matches to go. We're going to take a quick break right after we get through these 3 matches here. We're going to go to night 2, but I'm going to go to Gunther. I'm going to go to Jey Uso here. This is one that I want to spend a little time on because I saw a little theory about this, and it's kind of crazy to think about, but actually it's not, because I'm thinking, all right, I love me some Gunther. I know Leha, shout out to Leha, doesn't like Gunther.
I love me Gunther too.
Gunther. Yeah, I mean, you and I both, we love Gunther. I think Gunther as champion is, great. It's great for business. He commands the ring. He commands respect. Just everything. But why do I feel like Jey Uso gets that push? And why do I feel like he gets the win? And come night 2, something happens that involves him joining the Rock's faction.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Let's see.
On that for a curveball there.
Yeah, you kind of took the wind out of my lungs, bro. I don't know what to say. That wasn't even a possibility in my mind. But neither was Cena joining The Rock. So
there you go. There you go.
So you're going Jey Uso.
I'm going Jey.
Is that
Uso
what I'm hearing?
With a little bit of interference, and for him to kind of come out night 2 and help
shock
Cena,
the world.
Shock the world a little bit. Yeah.
Man, I'm with it. That's his cousin too. The bloodline runs deep. Since Roman didn't want to help The Rock, maybe Jey Uso will.
Mm-hmm. What a perfect heel turn, if you think about it.
I'm gonna go another route. What if we saw Jey Uso become this Super Saiyan persona after they took out his brother Jimmy Uso, who's missing WrestleMania on his behalf? Gunther had him bloodied in the ring, covered himself with his blood. Told Jay, come and get him if you really want him, you big coward. He used, vulgar language. He called him a big something, but we're not going to repeat that. So he was whooping on Jey Uso, said, you're a boy amongst men. I am a god. You are beneath me, Jey Uso. Mr. Super Kick Botch City. I like the guy, but I'm not in love with the guy. I don't want him anywhere near the title picture. The World Heavyweight Title Championship at that. So I like the storyline they brought in, kind of a Rocky IV feeling. Jey Uso saw his brother get killed in the ring, metaphorically. He comes out, he tells Gunther, "I'm no longer afraid of you," and he had our boy Gunther shook. That's the first time I've seen him show fear, even back when he was Walter. So I'm like, man, if Gunther's in his head, gets into his own head, they might pull the trigger on Jay. The way I see it, I wouldn't be too mad with either result. I'm going for Gunther. I could see Jey Uso winning for it. I just want a good match, Rudy. We
Yeah.
hyped up Uso versus Uso last year, and that had to be probably one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. And it's not so much that they didn't leave it all out there. It's just that their bag is so small,
Yeah.
they don't have a lot to show. What are you gonna do? Super kick Gunther 12 times, then get chopped in the chest 15, and that's the whole match. A basic power bomb and a botched spear. Come on, bro. They need to give us a 5-star match. If we're serious about Gunther's World Heavyweight title reign, let him hold the belt. He's the ultimate villain. We can't have two baby faces if Cody retains. Um, so if Gunther wins, pretend you could see Cody Rhodes winning. It's kind of how it is. We can't have two heel champions.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Gunther all the way on my boat. I know I'm gonna get a lot of stuff told to me by my homies because they're like, "You're not part of the Yeet movement," and damn it, no, I'm not, and I'm standing on that.
My feeling has Gunther winning. I love Gunther winning. And the reason why I brought up the Uso and Rock thing was because it just kind of feels with the way the storyline with Rock is going. You see Cena turning heel. There's going to be another turn, and that's going to be in another match
Yeah,
coming
because
up
he
here.
did he did the 1, the 2, and the 3. So the first.
Exactly.
So let's see what's up, man.
Exactly. I think that's going to really that's going to really be one to watch. And again, I think you made mention that, Uso and Gunther, they're talking about leading off the card with that. I'm okay with that. My biggest question regarding that match, and you can probably help me out here, is what you said. There's not much in the bag for Jey Uso. I mean, he's got to bring out a little bit more than what he's shown. Is the reason why is because a match of this magnitude can't carry on for so long. So it's kind of like, why are you going to have, a championship match followed by another title match, followed by the triple threat match? You kind of want to have banger after banger after banger. So out of those three, are we looking at Gunther and Uso as being the one that's the less of the three?
That's kind of where I'm confused as well because if once you win the Royal Rumble, you're promised a
Mhm.
WrestleMania main event.
Main event.
But the women, Charlotte Flair is not main eventing either. So I saw in an interview earlier today that Jey Uso actually asked for the match to be first so they could set the tone. He hears the noise, he hears how he's being bashed, and they're saying, "Oh, it's going to be a big snooze fest." By the time they get to that match, night one, had it been the main event, there's no way in hell, Rudy, it's living up to that triple threat if it were to come before that. So I
Yeah.
kind of get why they're laying it out. A lot of people are looking forward to the triple threat match more than those two matches. My surprise is how are you going to have both Royal Rumble winners face off on the same night? Charlotte Flair and Tiffany's happening the
Yeah.
same night that Gunther and Jay. I just feel like it was a throwaway PLE if this is the route we're going. Don't make any promises. Don't promote Royal Rumble as the main event spot anymore. If you're just gonna have them mid carding or opening up, and like you said, opening up isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, some opening acts and concerts are better than the main event.
Oh,
We had Paramore opening up for Taylor Swift. I don't think that's exactly a bad thing. I love me some Paramore and I rock with some Taylor Swift here and then. You know, it's just to get the people off their seats. You could only go up from here, but that's if Gunther and Jay give it their all.
man,
Um,
that's a tough
like I
one.
said, I'm not trying to sound like a hater, but I believe in Gunther more than Jey Uso when it
Yeah.
comes to what's in their bag. I mean, we've seen Gunther whip out 4 different finishers already. That guillotine, clothesline. He has that sleeper hold. What is it? That vicious power bomb he does, and that
Yeah.
missile drop kick to set it all up.
Yeah.
He. What does Jey Uso have? Samoan drop, super kick, spear, and a splash. You want to see that? Go watch Jacob Fatu fight. Go watch his brother Jimmy fight. Go watch Solo Sikoa fight. Go back in the internet and watch Umaga fight. Bro, he has no bag. And the bag he does have has a hole in the bottom.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And That's a tough part, man, because then you kind of look at it, you're putting a title on Jey Uso with then you go back and again, the disrespect is never there when we talk about a lot of these guys here. But then you go back to like a Goldberg. I mean, you put the title on him, but his move list is very minimal. So it's kind of, you got to have guys that are wrestling with him kind of just get him through the match, make him look that much dominant. And I think right now with Jey Uso, it's kind of the same way. If you put the belt on him, you're going to have storylines and guys that are going to be able to carry him in those big time matches because now you're main eventing just about everything until you drop the title. You make a great point on that. That's a thing right there. So I'm gonna take, I'm gonna take Gunther because of my gut feeling, but my mind tells me to watch out for that Rock connection because Rock, Cena turned heel. He did the one. He needs to. We know Travis Scott's not going to be part of this. So, I
Well,
mean,
he's gonna be at Mania.
he'll be there, but he's not the two and he's not the three. And if you're the Rock, you want champions around you. And
Exactly, and yeah,
that's,
and you
yeah.
know what? You know who dropped the collab earlier? Kind of hinted on something. We'll get there night too, Rudy. But Drew McIntyre, I heard Drew McIntyre might be him. So
There you
if
go.
you're gonna have muscle on your team as Dwayne the Rock Johnson, right? I'd pick Drew McIntyre, who was a fantastic WWE champion. He took Roman Reigns to the ends. He was half a second away from beating him at Clash at the Castle a couple years
Yeah.
back. So if you want someone intimidating on your squad, you go out there and get Drew McIntyre.
There you go, man. You're talking here. Chris Gonzalez in here. Gunther is going to do an awesome bomb at Mania. Awesome, man. Appreciate everybody joining us here. We are breaking down night one of WrestleMania 41. We're going to get to night two after our commercial break. We still got two more matches here. You know what time it is, dude. It's Tiffy time against Charlotte Flair, the WWE Women's Championship. Charlotte's kind of been getting the cold shoulder.
From the
And
crowd.
yeah, I mean, the personal attacks have come out between her and Tiffany Stratton. It seems like the aura. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Charlotte Flair fan.
I am not.
Pre-injury, pre-injury. I
Okay.
liked her when she first came out. Loved her in NXT. Part of the Bailey and I can't even remember her name. Jesus, she's Mercedes Monet right now. Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
Yeah, she was part of that little, clique back in NXT. So I mean, I rocked with Charlotte from way back then, but the return of Charlotte just doesn't have that same feel. And I really think that WWE is trying their best to put her over again. But I think with the crowd, man, with Elias, I think with the crowd, they're starting to feel that this may not be a good idea to put that belt on Charlotte. What do you think in this match? Because this is a very confusing match for me.
So she most definitely lost the crowd already, Rudy. If you watch Royal Rumble like I did,
Yeah.
man, having her win was probably the worst thing WWE could have done. It was so predictable. She gets to go out, change her face, recover from whatever injury she claims to have had, and just come back and in the big stage of them all, get the title and hold it hostage for a couple of months. She can't cut a promo to save her life. She's no Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And even in my opinion, Ric Flair is probably the most overrated wrestlers of all time. And I stand on that. I'm Sith to heel for a reason. If you want to argue, y'all follow me on my page and we could get down to it in the DMs or in public. I really don't give a damn.
There you go. I love
um,
it.
I feel like WWE is putting a lot of trust in Tiffany Stratton. If you saw their earlier back and forth, Rudy, it was
Hmm?
hot garbage, bro. Straight up,
It was shit.
man.
I'll say it.
Straight,
It
oh,
was
all
shit.
right, shit, straight up shit. And she was reading off a script, which sounded so fake, bro. I mean, everyone's gonna say wrestling's fake, but come on, she was rehearsing the lines in her head and reading them like if she had the index cards in front of her, bro.
Yeah.
So Charlotte started eating her up, and I'm glad Tiffany switched it up on her ass and started coming back with it, making fun of her divorces and all that. Maybe I'll light a fire in Charlotte too when she takes this serious, because what kind of promo was that? You're making fun of Tiffany Stratton's high pitched voice. Like,
Yeah.
bro, that's corny. Uh, what you're telling me you didn't have enough respect to look at her past matches, find something to bitch about. Instead, you're gonna attack her for being high pitched. Um, Tiffany could have taken it there and said, "I may have a high pitched voice, but at least I remember what I look like." You know, This-
Damn.
you're lucky I'm not in the ring because I would have tore her up and down. But Tiffany Stratton, that's my beauty. She's my wrestling goddess at the moment. Has one of the most beautiful moonsaults in the whole game. And I believe she's gonna get it over Charlotte Flair. Just listen to that pop when it happens, Rudy. Y'all heard it here first. Tiffany Stratton is gonna beat Charlotte at Mania, and Charlotte's gonna be there left looking like a shadow of her old self,
You know,
a shell of her old
I'm
self. Sorry, I messed that up.
oh, you are fine, man. You are fine, dude. I'm gonna agree with you 100%. I think Tiffany Stratton wins and retains the title. I think the WWE, the guys in WWE, the creative team had Charlotte win at Rumble. I think it was more of a feel event. How was the crowd going to react? And obviously they didn't get the crowd reaction they wanted, so they started to play a little bit more throughout those next couple of months. They finally realized, hey, you know what? Charlotte's not really the Charlotte of old. She's not going to get the same pop
Exactly.
as she did. So I think because of that right there, they're going to keep it on Tiffany Stratton. I mean, for all I care, just change it up at the end, bring in, Alexa Bliss or somebody. I don't give a damn. Make this a little bit better. It just seems like this match right here, it's already fallen flat on its face and it hasn't even happened yet. This is a
Yeah,
match that I'm not really looking forward to.
so before we move along, I mean
Oh,
the
you're good.
name you mentioned, Alexa Bliss. I mean, you're telling me that Charlotte is more deserving than Alexa.
Exactly.
Listen to her pop at the Rumble compared to Charlotte Flair's, and the fact that they're holding old girl hostage because of the whole Fiend scenario. She never
Yeah.
should have been partnered up with Bray Wyatt, and now being partnered up with the Wyatt Six isn't happening because where are they, Rudy? They're going on 3 months. It's Mania season. Oh, Bo Dallas had one match. Now he
Yeah.
can't he can't wrestle. So the whole squad is sidelined, including a returning Alexa Bliss. I understand her frustrations. I would have much better off. It would have been better off Tiffany Stratton versus Alexa Bliss at Mania than Charlotte. And we keep referring back to this metaphorical bag. Well, Alexa Bliss has that bag. You know, Twisted Bliss and all that were beautiful, and we would have had the Fiend still being part of the show one way or another, being
Yeah.
respected on the biggest stage of them all.
Yeah. Before we get to Chris's question right here, I'm kind of thinking, do you think that if Tiffany wins or even Charlotte wins, do we do we dare get an Alexa Bliss appearance as kind of because this match needs help. I mean, like I
It
said, it's already
does.
falling flat before it starts. This match need help. It needs a lot of help. You saw the promos, you see the crowd reaction. In order to hype this up and get it going, do you think we possibly see Alexa come out as a, you know what, I'm next for this title?
She needs to come out and do what Cena did and just demand that title reign, that title shot.
Mm,
So I do see Alexa Bliss possibly coming out at the end of it and asking or demanding that she be the next one up, or at least tease it. I'm sure the crowd will love it.
oh my
But
God.
Rudy, you know who's said that, they say they're retired and then their husband says the complete opposite? Where's Becky Lynch been? The man,
Mm,
one of the four horsewomen. My apologies, y'all. I
yeah.
would love for her to make her return at WrestleMania. She doesn't need another Rhea Ripley feud. Have her throw her in the mix with these youngins instead. Or if we have
Mm,
Charlotte Flair win, hell, bring Becky Lynch and have her post up to her. That's the only way you're gonna get a pop if Charlotte gets the title. Give her
yeah.
a deserving rival, and who better if not Becky Lynch
I agree with that. I think we could see Becky. I think we're going to see somebody. Not during this match, with the end of the match, we're going to have something happen. Again,
post
you got to
match.
get the crowd. Yeah, you got to get the crowd back up here. I'm going to give you a chance to answer Chris's question right here before we move on to the last match of night one. Talking WrestleMania 41 with the Doctor of Style Sith. You guys enjoying the preview? Be sure to drop some comments in there. It says where does Charlotte go if she wins the title here?
Hopefully back into the development stage or something. Take the title. You could take the title, keep it handy. kidnap it for all you want, as long as you take a mic with you and you find a mirror and start practicing your shit. Because there's no way you're gonna be a good champion with these promo skills. It's like she came back and unlearned everything she learned back in NXT, Rudy. So I don't know where you go with it. She has beef with everyone. Hell, in the real world, she's not even changing with the rest of the females. So if you want heat, there's heat there. Pick anyone back there and just have them whoop on old girl.
There you go. From the Doctor, Style Sith. Before we got one more match to do, then we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We've got the big one, the triple
The
threat
match.
match. The match. You've got Roman without the wise man, who is now in the corner of CM Punk. Favor is what Punk asked for. And then you've got Seth Rollins in the mix here. Now, I really think this is a match where, again, it comes down to two guys, and it's CM Punk and Seth Rollins. As much as I know you are a big Roman Reigns fan, I don't think Roman comes out on top. I think the wise man obviously is in favor of CM Punk. He's in his corner, but I think it's there for a reason. Personally, I think you're going to start to see the rise of Seth Rollins. And my prediction is that the wise man raises Seth Rollins' hand at the end of this match. What do you got?
Well, Rudy, it's been a while since I've been up here, praising the good tribal chief, the OTC Roman
Yeah.
Reigns. Well, before we get there, my boy Edgar, who's the biggest CM Punk fan in the whole world, and Leha, who's the biggest CM Punk hater and Roman Reigns hater, we all came to an agreement. And you'd be surprised, we all want Seth freaking Rollins to get the win. He deserves it more than anyone up here. He has his character overall, bro. He needs some winning qualities. You're not gonna have Seth freaking Rollins up there, throw him in the mix and have him look like the underdog or the guy who's misplaced, right? I feel like out of them three, Roman Reigns shouldn't be in the mix. This goes beyond the Shield. You're talking about real life heat with CM Punk. So I think Seth Rollins is going to get the dub, and Paul Heyman being in there, like you said, his favor was granted. CM Punk's favor was granted, but he also owes Seth Rollins a favor now that he didn't get stomped out.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see the big WrestleMania screw job. It's gonna be known as when Paul Heyman takes out CM Punk one way or another, and I think Roman Reigns eats the pin, Rudy. You can't have CM Punk headline his first WrestleMania and get pinned. So I think CM Punk gets taken out of commission one way or another by Paul Heyman. Not so much him being attacked. Maybe he slides in some brass knuckles or something.
Yeah.
And then we see Roman Reigns get the stomp, and he gets the pin. He's gonna have to eat it. Let's see how down he really is for putting over talent, especially a homeboy like Seth Rollins. Former Shield member, so the story's there. He feels betrayed. Seth Rollins is the reason why he's no longer champ. He went in and interfered during the Cody match.
Yeah.
And I think it's time that Seth Rollins gets rewarded and Roman Reigns lays it down. But who knows, man? You think they let the Tribal Chief get pinned 2 WrestleManias in a row? I don't know, bro. This match it could go either way, but I'm sticking to my gut. Y'all put money on it if y'all want Seth freaking Rollins with the win. And like you said, Paul Heyman will be by his side.
I can definitely see Roman actually getting pinned again. I really can with Seth Rollins, like you said, mentioned seeing Paul Heyman raise Seth Rollins' hand. And it's kind of funny because Chris Gonzalez is in here and he brought up the point I was going to make. We talked earlier about The Rock saying 1, 2, and he says we see a Rock sighting during this match cost Punk and Roman. Thank you. I think Seth Rollins is number 3.
Okay, and there's good evidence on that because who did John Cena get the assist from at the Elimination Chamber.
Seth
A
Rollins.
lot of people are saying no, Rollins was fueled by hate, even though he was eliminated. He had to take out Punk. I don't think so. This stuff just doesn't happen, Rudy.
Yeah.
Long-term storytelling
Yeah.
under Paul Levesque. You know, it all makes sense, bro. All these little things, you put them together, it's gonna happen. Seth Rollins deliberately took out CM Punk, not only because he hated him, but just the fact that the big boss man, the final boss, told him to do so. So
Yeah.
we might see number 3 might be Seth freaking Rollins. And man, can you imagine that? I'm so excited to go to night 2. But imagine this, Rudy. Seth Rollins is arguably the reason why Cody is champ.
Yeah.
Will he be the reason why Cody loses the championship? These are the questions that need to be answered, and we'll answer them when we get to night 2.
Oh yeah, we're getting to night 2, man. A great thing there. I think night 1 provides the where you're in a movie and you're like, there's the twist. Boom. What's going to happen at the end? That's what happens with night 2. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we get back, it's night 2 breakdown here on STL 316 with myself and the Doctor of Style Sith. We're going to be breaking down night number 2 on the way back. First, quick commercial break. Going to be getting our word from our sponsor, MCS General Contracting. We'll be back, guys. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting, building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
So you turn off all the lights and shut the door. Hey, angel, what's your destination?
Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
And there you had it. You know, you had Scott Hall, Razor Ramon himself at his Hall of Fame speech. Again, we have the WWE Hall of Fame this weekend as well. It is the Doctor of Style Sith, as Rudy Campos Jr., STL 316, breaking down WrestleMania 41. Shout out to our sponsors who's helping us build the breakdown for you guys here, and that is MCS General Contracting. Shout out to Chris Leha and the boys. Fantastic job. You think you've got great matchups here? Well, they are the perfect matchup for you when you need that driveway, you need that concrete poured, you need just general contracting services in general. You contact Chris Leha and the boys over at MCS General Contracting. Said we've broken down night number 1 and already given a lot of spoilers in our opinion because some stuff could happen. Let's go to night number 2, man. Night number 2 is just as special. We get a lot of the great stuff here. We're going to start from bottom right here. You've got AJ Styles and you've got Logan Paul. Now, Logan has been talked about as being part of the Rock's faction. I don't buy that a whole lot, but there's some people saying, well, Logan Paul could be another guy that could join the Rock's faction when it's all said and done. I don't see it, but to be honest, man, I'm not a Paul fan. I don't like Logan Paul. I don't like Jake Paul. I respect Logan Paul a whole lot more than I do Jake Paul. Logan Paul is a hell of an athlete, but I just feel like he's probably going to get put over again this time on AJ Styles.
No, I believe so. That's probably the route they're going. Like you said so yourself. You're not a fan. I'm not a fan either. But I'll
Yeah.
give it to him. He has one of the prettiest finishers out there.
Oh yeah, he
The
does.
pulverizer or whatever the hell he calls it. It's just nice, man. Um, like I said, all personal stuff aside, I think what he's done for the company, bringing more eyes to it through Prime, his social media stuff, his social media connection. We got I Show Speed getting taken out by Braun Breaker. That doesn't happen
Yeah.
if Logan Paul doesn't hook them up. So he's done a lot of good stuff for the company, and I think he should be rewarded with this win. I don't think AJ Styles minds taking the pin. AJ Styles, TNA GOAT, Impact GOAT, however you want to call it, probably one of the greatest technicians of our generation.
Yeah.
Um, I think he's above all that BS, and he's willing to put Paul over. He needs the help. Like you said, he's not so much of a heel naturally, so he's gonna need that help. AJ Styles could take him there, and it's gonna be a banger of a match for what it is. It's a good opening act. This one we could call an opening act for sure.
Yeah.
um, in wrestling fan terms, you see it in person. This would probably be one of your bathroom break matches.
Yeah, I don't fully intend to watch this whole match. If I do, I'm definitely on my phone scrolling up and down, seeing what I can find newsworthy to read or to see what's going on. In fact,
Let's
what
see.
I might
Let's
do,
see what they're doing over in AEW.
yeah, exactly. Or I might go do me a favor, check out what's going on Locked On Spurs. As Jeff Garcia is in here, shout out Jeff Garcia, Locked On Spurs. Here he's saying, Rudy, what is the worst WrestleMania of all time? Sith, what is yours? Because for me, I will say mine. God, I was not a big fan of. I think it was WrestleMania. There was the one at Caesar's Palace. I wasn't a real big fan. Yokozuna. What was that? Hulk Hogan,
Hulk Hogan,
Yokozuna.
Yokozuna. Is that the same one that had Giant Gonzalez against
Yeah, with the
Undertaker with the with
Undertaker.
the with the chloroform?
Yeah, to me,
Trash.
I didn't like it. I think for me that's the worst one. You got one in mind?
The pandemic WrestleMania, whichever that one was, WrestleMania 36, 37.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Horrible,
right.
bro. I think that's where we had Goldberg and Brock Lesnar have that
Yeah.
6-minute spear and F5 off. Man, horrible, horrible storytelling all around. Horrible performance. We don't talk about the pandemic.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll say this about the pandemic. It's not like Spurs talk. We're not doing Spurs talk here. We're not giving credit to it, but a lot of that stuff during the pandemic probably just shouldn't have happened. I get where you're going. You want to try to make the best of the situation, but there's still certain things just don't do it. If you don't,
Oh,
you can't do it
you
right.
mean like the ladder match at WWE headquarters where they threw they threw Rey Mysterio over the
Yeah,
top,
Rey
who
Mysterio.
seemingly died and came back that following Friday. Okay, that's real.
Yeah, off of what was it, like 100-story building just
Yeah,
in the ground.
horrible.
The creative team back in the day, yeah, you definitely had to get over that stuff there. Leha MCS's own general contracting zone. Damn it, I forgot to put my alarm to tune in. I'm gonna watch that so I can
Looks
watch
like he got a hold of the Undertaker's chloroform.
it. He's gonna go back and watch the Gunther talk. All the Gunther love we gave. He's gonna go back and watch us and
Oh, he's gonna be mad.
definitely definitely cook us. Logan Paul's winning, easy win, calling it. Yeah, I think again, I think I'm going with Logan Paul just because they're going to keep putting him over. The worst was WrestleMania 13, only one good match. All others were trash. Yeah, there's a lot of bad WrestleManias out there. Good question for Jeff out there. Moving on next, we got the Sin City Street Fight. You've got Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. Is this just more of one of those? The title of the match probably holds more water.
Dude, they
than the
need a
match
gimmick
that we're gonna
match.
get. Yeah,
It's a
and that's
gimmick.
the thing. It's just a gimmick, is what it is. But how do you see this one going here?
They have to give it to Damian Priest, in my opinion. He hasn't done much since he was dethroned, right? But
Yeah.
we know Drew McIntyre is more than capable of carrying a match of this caliber. Shout out CM Punk and their Hell in a Cell match. Bro took a toolbox to the head and kept it going. Took some of those crazy bumps where he did the Claymore kick, missed it, landed on the stairs. He's willing to give it all out there, and it being a street fight, has my attention, and let's see how brutal they can get.
Yeah.
Damian Priest is no slump on his own, right? He's a great performer. Let's see what he does when he's able to become unhinged, and no, there's no rules to hold him back. I say Damian Priest wins, maybe by hell, I don't know. He throws him off the Mirage. Shit, I don't know. Whatever's out there in Vegas, find something
Whatever.
high and throw his ass off of there. That's the only way you're keeping a beast like Drew McIntyre down.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Or
go. I'll probably.
down enough
Uh,
until the main event.
I think I really just I'm gonna go with Damian Priest on this one. Again, this isn't the AJ Styles Logan Paul, snoozer. You're gonna be entertained in this one a little bit more, but I think I'm gonna go with Damian Priest. But again, it's a match that I'm like, okay, can we kind of rush through this a little bit because we want to get to some of these other ones and get to some of these bangers that we got coming up, just like the women's tag team match here. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Bailey, and Lyra Valkyrie. Where are we going with this one? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't watched a lot of the women's right here in action. These are particular Bailey, of course. I know the old school Bailey, but what do we got for this women's tag team championship match?
Okay, I got you. So this is gonna be the night of the Judgment Day. We're gonna have Raquel and Liv retain, only because there's been glimpses of a turn between Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. So Bailey's lost twice already to Lyra. One of them being a championship match for Lyra's Intercontinental Champion, which I can't see why she's not defending even in the pre-show. Give us something. Why give us these mid-card championships? Not have them out there. Shout out one of my favorite, Chelsea Green. She's not on the card. U.S. Women's Title Champion too. I wish she was on there. But back to this match. There's going to be a couple miscues in there, and Bailey and Valkyria are just going to duke it out in the end, while Liv and Raquel walk out into the sunset. And shout out my girl Raquel, big Spurs fan, I heard. Um,
Ah,
and
very
I was able to
good.
see her live in my hometown. If she's willing to come all the way downtown to a border town of 1,000 people, then she's getting all the love I can give.
There you go. She's gonna walk out with the title, retaining the title with Liv Morgan, according to Doctor of Style Sith. Would you say this event has a lot riding on it as far as legacy delivering for the fans? If it falls short, what would that mean? You
Okay,
know, it's kind of a hard. I'll say for me, before I'm gonna let you get the spotlight on this one. But for me, I don't know if it's gonna fall short. I think there's still some matches that are kind of like, but what I think carries it are these main event matches that it's going to really carry it through. We talked about Naomi and Jade Cargill being, kind of an underrated match, one that's probably going to be really, really good when we say at the end there. But I don't think it's going to be underperforming or under delivering this WrestleMania. What do you got for Jeff there?
I don't think it'll affect the legacy of WrestleMania, being that the build-up around here enough has moved the needle in itself just via storytelling. Now we're getting to the conclusion of these stories, Jeff. So everyone is going to want to tune in and see how all this ends up, right? Um, the talent is there. These two cards, some people are upset WrestleMania is a two-night thing now, but I think it's perfect the way it's set up. The
Yeah.
story behind these matches are there. Just like I said, the talent in the ring itself are more than capable of carrying the show. It's not gonna go under. They're never gonna be worse than the WrestleManias we mentioned earlier before. So as long as they keep it up there, it's gonna be pretty good. And the setting itself, Jeff, they're in Vegas, has a lot to play too. There's gonna be plenty of celebrities. I heard there was gonna be some special entrances, um, some live performers. I forgot to mention that. In Living Color what is they're teased to come out and perform CM Punk's Cult of Personality theme. That's going to be something of the past manias that's been missing. Well, we
Yeah.
had Rhea Ripley come out motionless in white, but they're not in living color. Nothing hits harder than the Cult of Personality. But no, I think they're going to be just okay. There's not snoozers. There's just some matches that shouldn't be on here. We're missing talent like Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
We're missing some people that should be in here, not could be, but should be in the mix. We've seen a lot of these bouts already. Logan Paul and AJ Styles, for example, love them, but you can't tell me that you can't fit in the women's United States champion in there, or hell, even the actual United States champion. I mean, he's in there, but you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah. 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 No, we do. And that's the thing. It's missing. It's still missing a little bit here. And, it's not going to underperform. It's not going to affect the legacy. So I really think it's going to be a great card. As you're saying, man, you're breaking it down fantastic for everybody. So I'm sure Jeff's appreciated it. Apparently he said that Jade Cargill wanted to spar with you and you ran out and you ran away scared of her. I'd be scared of Jade for sure.
Never that. Never that.
You never run away from Jade Cargill. Okay. And then Chris wants to get into the Intercontinental Championship.
Slow your roll, Chris. Slow your roll, bro. We can't rush perfection, baby.
It's actually gonna come up right after this match right here. We're gonna stick with the women's division here, triple threat match. You've got there you go, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. Of course, Io Sky is definitely your champion. To me, Sith, man, this just has Rhea Ripley all over it.
Don't do that, Rudy.
That's just me. I mean,
don't do that. I can't take another mommy mania, bro. Come on, Io Sky worked her ass off, got the title. She's been a great champion, one of the best in-ring performers of all time.
Yeah.
A lot of people say she doesn't have the looks of like Trish Stratus, Tori Wilson, those of the past. She doesn't need it. She's more than capable of carrying that title without all that. I mean, she's cute and she can work in there, and her promos, they hit, even though she has an accent, but the emotion is still there. She does what she can with what she has, and she's a more than capable champion, and I hope she retains. Bianca Belair, she's shown glimpses of a heel turn, so I'm looking forward to that. Mommy does not need to be in here. Stealing the contract and signing it, you couldn't tell me that you couldn't shred that shit and just reprint another contract just for Io and Bianca. Like I said, make this shit believable, guys. We know wrestling is scripted, but make it believable. Rhea is forced. She does not need to be in the mix. She had it the last 2 years. All right, cool. We celebrated you, mommy. Now it's time to let someone like Io Sky shine.
There you go. You're getting it from Dr. Style himself, man. He wants Io Sky to keep shining. Chris is saying,
well, I call her Ayo, because damn, Ayo, she's fine.
Chris Gonzalez said the women's match would be the match of the weekend. He's calling this the absolute best match of the weekend. He says Bianca is the third member of the Rock's faction. Again, we are definitely going to see some wrestlers take that turn and join the Rock's faction. Could it be Bianca Belair? If that's the case, does that mean Bianca comes out on top? Because remember, the Rock just wins winners, man.
Yeah, the Rock is gifting whoever joins his faction. Hell, if he were to come in my hotel room right now, say, help me whoop Cody Rhodes' ass, I'll give you a title, man. Make something up for me, and I'll do it, Brody.
We all want to join the Rock's faction, man. We got the next match here, second to last match of the night for us here. It is the fatal four-way match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Champion Braun Breaker, who one of the most dominant forces in WWE right now, against Mr. Penta, Finn Balor, and Dirty Dom, Dominic Mysterio. You know what, Sid? This is the one, with the exception of Balor, Finn Balor. There's three guys there that I have zero issues with walking out the champion of this IC title match. And you and I talked, I think it was last Mania or last time we did STL 316, when we both said, Braun's probably going to go in champion with something to WrestleMania. And he's probably going to end up losing because he's going to go into that next level. He's going to get ready for your SummerSlams, your end of the year pay-per-views. And that's where I feel. I think it's Dom and I think it's Penta, one of those guys walking out, because I think Braun is getting ready to take that massive leap. What do you got in this fatal four-way?
Yeah, I would take the title off of Braun Breaker and start setting him up for a World Heavyweight Championship reign in the near future.
Yeah.
Pentagon, Penta, you've been fantastic, but you're just not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm not a hater, but I feel like Ray Phoenix's debut and matches since then have already outshined Penta. Penta seems like he's been hanging in catering a little bit too much, Rudy, if you know what I mean. He's kind of slowed down just a little bit. Finn Balor, much love. You were my WWE champion, even a Universal champion, even if it was just for one day, bro. I wish they would have given you another run at it.
Oh,
Roman
yeah.
Reigns quickly he destroyed that demon character. But if I'm gonna pull the trigger on someone, it's gonna be Dominic Mysterio. Let's give him the title, and
Yeah.
let's let Finn Balor take the pin. Give him the Judgment Day too. Give Dominic Mysterio all his roses. Look, he already has Liv Morgan by his side. He's winning. Let's
Yeah.
hype him up even more. Let's give him the title. Let's give him the Judgment Day. And that also sets up the near future if he goes back into a feud, which his next feud would be with Finn Balor. You could book that.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we could tag a storyline with him and Rey Mysterio, title for mask match, or title for career match. You know, either or, it'd work out. He'd
Yeah.
be the one to send his father off into the sunset. So all these are more than capable, and worthy of being champion. But I'm going with Dominic Mysterio, and he also rocks the Susio name on his gear. So, you know, shout out my USOA. Maybe I'm biased, but
Shout out to USOA for sure, man. What do you got left?
no, but that's it. Dominic Mysterio for the win. Braun Breaker, future world champion by 2025, 2025, 26. Towards the end, we're going to see him hold the world title, or at least Money in the Bank. Penta, we got to get your ass back to your brother, bro, because you seem intimidated that Ray's already outshining you.
Yeah, you know, with Penta, you saw him come in. Everybody was excited. Everybody loved it, but then it went downhill
It's dying
really
down.
quick, man. And it's getting, a little bit old already. And I'm like, man, I love Penta a lot, but you're right with Dominic winning that title.
And it's the
Sets up a whole
opposite. It's
lot.
the opposite of Braun Breaker, Rudy. When we saw him get called up to the main card,
Yeah.
to the main show, man, I don't think his popularity's come down even once. It's to the point where we want him to lose so he could become world champion, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And that, here's the way that I'm looking for Braun Breaker. I say he loses at Mania, he loses the belt. You're right. He starts that path to get into, the mix for the heavyweight title. I actually have Braun winning 2026 Rumble, setting him up for that title match next WrestleMania. It gives you an entire year to get that Braun story just right for WrestleMania. So I'm calling it now, 2026 men's winner, Braun Breaker. And again, barring injury, obviously you got to always remember about injuries. Barring injury, it's Braun Breaker, and I think it sets him up for a WrestleMania main event, championship match. So you got Chris Gonzalez, Summerfest, Dom versus Ray career, make it a ladder match, long storytelling. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's gonna happen, and I think it's best to happen with the belt around Dominic Mysterio, as you said a little while ago.
For sure. Oh, we have a comment by Deontay, bro. He said, I still don't understand how the Street Profits are not on the card and they're the champs. That's what I was alluding to earlier, Rudy. Why have Logan Paul and AJ on the mix when you have the likes of the Street Profits out there? Instead of defending on SmackDown tomorrow night, get their asses on the show. They're more than capable of carrying. Especially have him on the card the same night his wife is on there, Bianca Belair's dude, part of the Street Profits. Make it a family ordeal.
Yeah, I get it. And Deontay, I apologize. Those, for whatever reason, Twitter comments were at the top. So if any of you are leaving Twitter comments, they're up at the top. I'll get to you here in just a little bit. He did say, like you said, I still don't understand how Street Profits are not on the card and they are the champs. And he also said, funny thing, AJ versus Logan will actually be good. For me, it's one of those matches where I kind of already, and everybody feels like we talked about, Logan Paul is going to get his due again. He's going to get put over again. Nothing really bad about it. I just think that WWE is investing a whole lot into Logan Paul, man. We got one more match here. The match that everybody is coming to see, obviously. You've got Cody. You've got Cena. Does Cena get the win? Does Cena get the belt back? Does he, have the record? Does Cody retain somehow 99.9 infinite of polled WWE fans? I'm sure will tell you that Cena is probably going to win this title. I don't see how it doesn't happen. I called a night one where we're seeing Seth and the Wise Man, Jey Uso probably join Rock's faction, and those guys coming in, helping Cena win that title and build that Rock faction. I completely have Cena winning this, man. But you are the Doctor, Style. You break it down better than anyone that I know. Break down this undisputed WWE Championship match.
All right, so you guys have Cody Rhodes, who got his ass jumped after Elimination Chamber. Well-deserving champion. He's been carrying that championship pretty honorably, right? Shout out to his dad, Dusty Rhodes. He's doing a fantastic job going up against one of the greatest of all times, John Cena, the Doctor of Thugonomics. Fruity Loop Cena even had his own, he had his own following too for a point. But yeah, the surprise after Elimination Chamber was John Cena teaming up with The Rock, and although that The Rock, Roman Reigns lost to Cody Rhodes last year, The Rock hasn't taken an L to Cody. If anything, he pinned Cody night one. Yeah. He's set up his revenge scheme against Cody Rhodes, and everything's been hitting. And he said John Cena's going to get that championship. So don't think that The Rock's gonna go back on his word, because if The Rock can make it happen, says it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Trust me. Cody Rhodes, you've had one hell of a title reign, but it's time for John Cena to break Ric Flair's record and make that title even more relevant than it is now. And there's been a lot of what do y'all call them? Like foreshadowing, right? We have the St. Louis Backlash happening the month after Mania, with Randy Orton on the cover. Yeah. Who's John Cena's biggest rival, if not Randy Orton? I've tried getting into that debate a little bit. I'm like, it's a given. It's going to be Randy Orton versus Cena for the belt. Yeah. But others have told me that Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes is his protege. He made Cody Rhodes figuratively into the man that he is now. So I don't know. WWE is really keeping it under wraps. I want to say John Cena is going to be the champ, especially with the merch drop too, giving hints, saying the only champion or the realest champion. So I'm going John Cena. I grew up watching the dude, but it's not going to be clean. Yeah, by no means.
It's going to be a match. It's going to be a hell of a match. And you brought up Backlash because of what you mentioned. The poster's already out. We see who's on the poster for Backlash. We've seen Randy Orton on there. So I think possibly you get Cena winning, you get Cody coming back, and then you get Randy in the dance. So
that's the only way to do it. Yeah, right?
Here you go.
You get John Cena against Randy Orton if they don't make it a triple threat match, and by then The Rock will be finished with Moana 2 and whatever other Disney movie he's trying to be a part of. He'll be finished with that, and he could finally be in the ring with Cody Rhodes, make that path for SummerSlam happen. Let it be Cody Rhodes and The Rock. Cody Rhodes has nothing to lose now that he's not holding the title. John Cena has something to lose because he'll be champion and he's going up against the Viper, my personal GOAT. Beyond Roman Reigns, everyone knows Randy Orton is my all-time favorite superstar or wrestler. I don't like using the term, but superstar, because he's been in everything, bro. He was even the better Marine, in my opinion.
Man, the history between Cena and Orton, with movies and everything, that's you're right, man. It's a big old thing. Randy Orton is my wife's GOAT of all time. Every time he's been on TV, she forgets that she fails to realize I even exist anymore, and I'm sitting right next to her. So that kind of shows you the impact Randy Orton has in my household. Jeff's wanted to get a question for you, man. You know that there's golden eras in sports. How would you classify today's era of WWE? Golden era of WWE or something different today? I think
The
golden is like
the golden
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, the golden era is Hulk Hogan, or at least what I was able to live through. The Attitude Era would be my
Yeah,
golden era. What do we call this now? We'll just call it the transitional era, Jeff, because we don't know where it's going yet.
yeah,
Especially with the Netflix deal and all these TV deals in the mix, it's been more cinematic than anything. You have killer you have killer production promos being shot in 8K and produced like short films. So I don't know what would we call this? The cinematic era, Rudy? What do you think?
yeah. I like that, the cinematic era. I think the golden era is probably, you're right. I was thinking about Hulk Hogan and Warrior and those guys. I think that's
Oh,
the
that's
silver.
the Coke era. No, I'm playing. Bad joke, bad joke.
That is the drug use era that we
Drug
used
use
to have
era.
back in the day. I would say that's like the silver era of wrestling. I think the gold era is the Attitude Era. The WWE will never get back to that era where you had Stone Cold, The Rock. I mean, that era was just, I mean, you had Generation X having girls flash them, in
Yeah.
live events and being shown on TV at that blurred out, but it was still being
Hangings,
shown. Yeah,
murders, all this
exactly.
stuff, dude.
You had Val Venus almost getting his wang chopped off. I mean, you had a lot of stuff
Yeah.
in that era. So that was the golden age of wrestling. And right now, I think you hit it right on the head. It's the cinematic era of wrestling. And that's exactly what I agree with you on that.
It's film meets wrestling, and it's done pretty damn good. And it's also, you could also say that the Lucha Underground was probably the setting stone for this type of stuff,
Yeah.
because before them they weren't going all out with the cinematography and whatnot. So
Yeah.
yeah, Jeff, we'd call this the cinematic era.
It is the cinematic era of wrestling. Man, Lucha Underground. This is every time you and I are on the show here, we always
It
bring
gets
up
brought
Lucha
up.
Underground. I love it, man. Lucha Underground can never be duplicated, man. Never be duplicated. But what we're gonna do some closing thoughts here. We've covered all the WrestleMania. We've got obviously the WWE Hall of Fame. Shout out to Lex Luger finally getting in to the WWE Hall of Fame. Natural disasters, Michelle McCool, Triple H finally getting in. You've got the match moment going in with Austin and Bret Hart. You've got the legacies going in as well. Quick thought on the WWE Hall of Fame, and then we're gonna get our final WWE WrestleMania 41 shots. What are your thoughts on the Hall of Fame?
So the Hall of Fame this year is probably going to be one of the most emotional ones,
Yeah.
since the Ultimate Warrior being taken in and then passing the following week, if I'm not mistaken. But the story behind Lex Luger, yeah, man, he's been through hell and back, and I feel like he should have been inducted years ago. But
Yeah.
it's all the stuff happening prior to the event that has me emotional. He's been out there practicing with Diamond Dallas Page. He's committed to walking on that stage, Rudy, and us knowing his backstory, when we see him up there, it's just gonna break us. Shout out the national disaster, bro. Without them, big men like me wouldn't be so confident to be working out in public, bro. You saw my video from earlier. I was out here flexing, and that's shout out to Earthquake. Had me believing that anything's possible, even for a chubby kid like myself. That Michelle McCool rubbed everyone the wrong way. A lot of people say she shouldn't be in it. It's all backstage politics. She was one of the revolutionary women in today's wrestling. If it wasn't for her, she made a big part of it. I don't know, a lot of people sleep on her. Lei Cool was actually one of the greatest women tag teams of all time, and she made one hell of a Divas champion too. To say she's undeserving is wild, bro. She deserves it. It just happens that Mark Calloway, not the Undertaker, Mark Calloway had something to say and all that. I mean, I don't know if you've been following that new developmental show they have, where they gave Mickey James a boot in season 2 to make room for Michelle McCool. And like a lot of people heard that news and they know Mark had a lot to do with it. So they think that's the only reason why she's in it. But no, she's more than qualified. A lot of people are tripping.
Yeah, she definitely is more than qualified. And I think we brought it up last night when I was talking to Gio on Sweep the League TV. She does have the accolades, and she was one of those women wrestlers that
She was a pioneer.
during that era. Yeah, she pioneered everything in. So more power to her to get in. I don't have any problems
And
with it at all.
Triple H, what's your thoughts on Triple H? I have my thoughts. I want to hear yours.
So obviously I think I put Triple H more in with factions, with Evolution, with Degeneration X. Triple H by himself, great wrestler, had really good title reigns, but not the very first person on a Hall of Fame list for me. I think, like I said, I think he was a better stable guy, is what it is. I'm not taking nothing away from his wrestling.
No. I get you. You.
But I think his biggest moments were part of stables, and he could carry a card, he could carry events, and fantastic wrestler. But for me, the popularity was when he was in Degeneration X, when he was with Evolution. It's like the stables are what made Triple H that guy. So that's my personal opinion. Very well deserved to get in on his own, primarily too because of where WWE is going now. He's engineering this new era of WWE, so I take that into factor as well. All the shit that McMahon did and all the stuff they went through, him having to clean a lot of that up and bring WWE back to dominance, I have zero issues with him going in.
For sure.
What do you think?
So I grew up watching the Cerebral Assassin, not so much Hunter Hearst Helmsley. You know, that corny, his first character. I wasn't really feeling it. But I grew up watching the Cerebral Assassin take out my favorites, take out Edge, Randy Orton, take out John Cena at that. I think he's more than deserving. I mean, the man tore both quads and still finished the match.
Yeah.
He took hell of bumps. You remember when he was out for that quad injury, then he comes back looking yoked. He was ridiculous. He was built like a Goomba from the 1996 Super Mario movie. He was built, bro. I always wanted to be I've always wanted to be big like that. So I would work out specifically to try and get to that level, which I didn't know steroids were a thing, but that's a story for another day. And man, can we talk about his aura alone, the spit, bro? We have people mimicking it in the sports world. He had two of the best wrestling themes by Motorhead. Here Comes the Game, and then The King of Kings. Man, you just know it when you would hear it coming in, boom. Bow down to the king, man. Nothing moves him like that anymore. Randy Orton, but other than that, I think he has it all. I think this is the correct year to put him in. Like you said, he's not my first ballot Hall of Famer. Had he been put in sooner, I would have said he's not deserving. But for everything he did to this point, I said this is a good class to put him in with. There's no one in there that outshines him, actually, other than Lex Luger, but that's more his story, his personal life. So yeah, that's all I got to say about Triple H. He's one of the best of all time.
I'll say this much about Triple H, where I have him ranked in stables is very, very high. He was very big on the stable part, but at the same time, as a singles wrestler, the impact that he brought to wrestling, not necessarily, wrestling style. He had a really good wrestling style, brawler, a bit tactical as well.
Yeah.
But the impact that he had as a wrestler, the moments that he provided, that is Hall of Fame worthy. I mean, you definitely got to rank him pretty damn high. And I think what Chris said here, I think Hunter was needed for Austin and Rock in my high school days. They were big three. That's what I see. Like,
yeah,
Austin and Rock were, LeBron and Dwayne, but Hunter was Bosch. You needed Hunter in there, and he had to serve his purpose, and he was able to get a lot of these guys over. So that's one thing people fail to see about Triple H is that, as big of a guy that he could have been, because you could have easily put him over Stone Cold in a lot of places. You could have easily put him over The Rock, but he didn't take that shine away. And that's why I think that's the shitty part about everything, because he doesn't get the love that he deserves. And that's why people may not have him like you. First ballot Hall of Famer? Probably not. But it's because he did more for others than he did for himself. And that's kind of what I think, where they were getting on there. A couple more questions and we're going to end it up here, man. Why is Stone Cold a polarizing figure among fans? I mean, it's beer drinking. It's the middle
His beer
finger.
drinking
It's
is he gave no shits. If you could come out on public television, flip the bird through everybody, leave in handcuffs, drive a beer truck in, cover everyone in beer and milk, on Zamboni or whatever the hell they're called. He was just out here doing whatever the hell he wanted to do, and I loved it. Stone Cold Steve Austin is an icon. He is one of the goats for a reason. Hell, he's the reason why we named the show STL 316, Rudy.
yeah.
A lot of people forget about Stunning Steve. I don't like going back there, you know. And let me tell you this, Jeff. Stone Cold Steve Austin changed the game, and he wasn't even wrestling for that long. A lot of people remember his matches and whatnot. He was only around for about 10 years as Stone Cold Steve Austin. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't know that. They think he's like, oh, he has all these thousands of matches put behind. No, not really. He's just came in, changed the game in a short while. Because 10 years in the wrestling world is a short time.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jeff, he's just an icon. When you think of wrestling icon, I don't think of Sting, even though that's his nickname, or Hulk Hogan. The GOAT to wrestling is always going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was the whole reason why I was able to say shit and not get in trouble growing up. Shout out to my mama. Today's her birthday. She was a big wrestling fan. She's the one that
Shout
put me on. Shout out to her. I hope she's kicking it with Eddie Guerrero this weekend watching WrestleMania. Watching her boy watch WrestleMania.
Oh man, I'm sure she's up there looking at you right now. Look at me breaking down WrestleMania, man. Like my dad doing that same thing up in heaven.
Yes,
there.
sir,
So
bro. Yes, sir.
very proud of that, man. The whole Stone Cold thing was funny. He came in as the ringmaster for WWE, and what's crazy is you go to your icons, like you said, Sting, Hogan, these guys, but nobody did more doing less than Stone Cold did.
Exactly.
For wrestling in general. So, I mean, Hogan brought the vitamins and the prayers and all this stuff, which was cool. But Stone Cold said, you know what? Hold my beer literally and let me turn the wrestling world upside down on its head. And Jeff is wondering about steroids, man. I know we got to get out of here. So you get one more comment here. Jeff is Austin 316 shirt is still number one selling. Yeah, I mean, it's still number one selling shirt, period, out there. Your thoughts on WrestleMania 41, dude? So to close it all out, I said it earlier. I think the Rock stable gets born this weekend. You've got Cena in there. I've got Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman joining the stable to make it that much better. My surprise is Jey Uso joining that stable as well. You've got a new big time bloodline sort of right there, getting, through The Rock, and, Cena and The Rock have the movie history. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman is the next big thing coming up. Jey Uso has the ties to The Rock. That's my big WrestleMania 41 takeaway. Preview wise, also my biggest shocker per se would be, and it's not even a shocker for me, but the shocker for me would be Braun Breaker losing the Intercontinental title belt. I say it happens regardless, but I think to some people thinking Braun's on a hot streak, he's going to keep it. I say probably not. What do you got for your final preview, man?
All right, so WrestleMania 41 is going to be arguably the best WrestleMania of all time, even though last year we had the best 5 minutes of WrestleMania of all time. Shout out Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. That's what it's patented as, and that's what we'll refer to it from now on as the greatest 5 minutes of WrestleMania. But my take, I trust in everything I told y'all today. I'm not an expert, but I do know a thing or two. Shout out Dominic Mysterio. I hope everything goes your way and you get the Judgment Day. Rudy, John Cena wins it, breaks the record, hands the title over to The Rock. It's all yours, baby.
Wow.
All yours. That's the trade-off. That's the trade-off. Give me the record, you get the title, let's get it. So that's my bold prediction, but I hope y'all had fun with us tonight. That's Rudy Campos Jr., the fortune teller, coming, bringing you all the heat. And y'all make sure to stick around for Sweep the League as well. Rudy, any closing comments, brother?
Man, it's always fun doing STL 316 with you. I know we do it from time to time. So for those of y'all that are looking for it, we'll do it from time to time. It's not an everyday type thing. So I do appreciate it. always join us here. He joins Jacob Eric as well for some Sweep the League talk from time to time as well. But yeah, man, I mean, it's been fun. It's always fun talking wrestling with you. It's always a blast. We have a lot of great comments, a lot of great people that are always jumping in here. And as far as STL 316, it's going to be rebroadcast tonight. We're taking Sweep the League TV off tonight because we want everybody who didn't make it for this show to have a chance to see it at 9 o'clock. So this is always going to be reran again for you guys. It's going to be running on Sweep the League Network 24/7. You're going to get a lot of coverage like this for 24/7. You can find me and Sith on Sweep the League Network TV with this STL 316 WrestleMania 41 preview. So for the Doctor of Style Sith, it is the fortune teller, the brown bag special, the rated R sports star, Rudy Campos Jr., all the wrestling names you can think of here. Well, until we talk wrestling, you guys enjoy WrestleMania 41, and we'll see you later, knuckleheads.